pleasure to be here again. Thank you for staying until the last portion of the day. We have a presentation after this panel. We're going to keep this panel short and sweet, I hope. And it's I'd like to introduce Mr. Roy Zakka. He's Chief Executive Officer of Ubanquity Systems, and Mr. Fatih Isbecer, Chief Executive Officer of Pozitron. We'll start by a very short presentation by Roy. Keep it 5 to 6 minutes maximum, and then that'll kickstart the panel. Thank you.
Hi guys, I just have a very quick presentation just to tell you what we do. So basically, this is the stack that we work with. You're looking at the regular banking that you do, which is informational, mobile payment, transactions, alerts, and then remittance. On top of that, we bring in big data. We collect a lot of data from the transactions, the various transactions. And this gives you all the machine learning, the prediction that you can use with all of this data. We bring in surveys, mobile survey platform, social media, and upselling tools. So we sell these platforms to banks. So our customers are banks, and banks offers these services to their end subscribers. This is the customer that the bank is dealing with, and these are the platforms that we support today. This is our technical stack, really. And the various services, once the bank deploys our platform, what they can do with it. That's where the Ubanquity comes from. We're ubiquitous. We work with all the e-channels of the banks.
Thank you, Roy. Fatih, maybe you'll start with some introductory remarks on your general perspectives on m-banking from your perspective as a CEO of your company.
Hello, this is Fatih. I'm from Turkey. We are a technology company based in Istanbul. We mainly focus on enterprise mobility. One of the products that we sell to banks, it's mobile banking. What we believe is, mobile channels are still called like alternative distribution channels. So it's a big mistake that big enterprises make so far. This is not actually the alternative channel. This is the channel itself. All the other channels will be alternative in few years because everyone has mobile phones, everyone has continuous internet access. So the main channel for payments, for banking, for Salesforce, it's the mobile device itself. So what Pozitron does is we go to big enterprises, mainly banks and pharmaceutical companies. We analyze their systems and we move their core business to mobile platforms and add some value-added services to optimize their process and to cost save. I think the mobility will change the way of doing business in enterprises. It started to change it in the last 2 years. It will go like this for 5, maybe 10 years, for a decade, and the productivity will boom like we never saw before.
Thank you. So, given that both of your companies offer mobile banking solutions, can you share with us real-life return on investment examples of banks that adopted your systems and how that went into their favor or not?
The biggest reduction that you'll see once banks start using the mobile channel is the reduction in the number of calls that they get to their call center. And we're talking about an actual reduction of about 55%.
Fatih?
When we start doing forced mobile banking in 2006 in Turkey, it was a PR activity for the bank. So the banks like to show themselves tech-savvy companies, but actually they are not really. They have to use technology, but they are not tech-savvy. So in 2006, it was a PR activity, and we were using their advertisement budgets. But when we came to 2011 and 2012, our mobile banking products started to get 10%, in some of the banks, 12% of whole transactions, including branch, ATMs, and internet banking. So now they are making real money from this channel, and they are giving a better customer experience because you are on the screen that customers looks at most. You know, you look to your phone screens 100 times a day. You don't look anything else that much. You don't even see your wife, your kids that much. So I think it's becoming more and more popular every day, and the banks saw that now for a bank having a mobile banking channel, it's a must. It's not an option.
Thank you. If you have questions, please prepare them and raise your hands, so we'll have the engagement of the audience early on. A follow-up question to the gentleman. From your experiences, from the deployments you've had, mobile banking users, are they a subset of internet online banking users, or do you have people who have never used online banking jump directly into mobile banking? So what's the migration? Is it internet online banking users that also start using mobile banking, or do you have a whole new subset of customers that never used online banking but started using mobile banking? Roy and Fatih.
Mobile banking is definitely a superset of internet banking. In order to conduct internet banking, you have to go in front of a laptop. You have to have access to Wi-Fi or some sort of wireless internet. You have to put in a username and a password. They usually also give you a one-time password that you have to input. So it's not something that you can do when you're on the move or when you're in a hurry. With mobile banking, people are usually doing other stuff. They're on the move, they're in between meetings, maybe they're having lunch, they just want to check some information, they want to conduct a quick transaction. And this is where mobile banking is very handy. You have your mobile with you everywhere. Whereas your laptop or other device to conduct internet banking is not as convenient.
Fatih?
Actually, it's very dependent to the strategy of the bank. In the beginning, when we started to develop mobile banking for banks, we were using the authentication process of internet banking. So to be able to use mobile banking, you have to be an already internet banking users. But since the last 2 years, banks changed their sign-up process, and now you are able to download the iPhone app without registering to the internet banking. You can directly log into the mobile banking. So it was a subset in the beginning, but since 2 years, I can say it's becoming the new arrivals, the new customers. 50% is coming from the internet. It's still a subset. The other 50% is just bypassing every other channel, and they are first time using online services by their mobile phone. I think that's a good move for mobile industry, because now more and more brands will see that this is not a subset of anything. This is a proprietary channel that they have to invest on it.
Thank you. Yes, please, the gentleman in front. Could you please let us know your name and your company and your passport number?
Salim Barakat, Radical Company. My question to both gentlemen is how much customization is possible and allowed in your products, and how can we differentiate between, let's say, two banks operating in the same market that can go with you?
With each bank, they have a complete look and feel. It's a completely different application. If you hold two applications running on a similar platform, you will not be able to tell this is done by the same vendor. So we tend to give you, it's an end-to-end solution. We start by doing what you call a proof of concept. So we connect our platform is cloud-based. So we connect our platform to the bank's test environment, and we connect it to all of their core banking system and their various systems that they have at the bank, and we give them custom clients that they can test on their own and try out. We design the full look and feel, the icons that are used inside the application, etc., on all the platforms. So we're talking the BlackBerry, the iPhone, we're talking the Windows Mobile, and the Android platform. And they can be up and running in 3 months with a completely custom solution. It's completely run from a console. You can update a lot of the data that's in the application from a console. It's just a web service.
I little differentiate from him in this portion of the technical side. I believe that over a size of an enterprise, nothing can be delivered by package. It should be customized, fully customized. None of the big enterprises, rather than databases, they use everything fully customized. Their ERP system is customized, their core banking is customized, and mobile should be device-oriented. Every device has a different user experience. So to have a good user experience, you have to analyze the bank's core system, the behavior of the customers, their services, and you have to add new features to each application to differentiate from the competitors. So I believe is more than 50% should be tailor-made for big enterprises. But if you go to SME level and having a mobile app for them, yes, drag and drop tools might be a solution for that size. But banks, they are having heavy competition on the market. So it's like, think about internet banking. You cannot do internet banking with front page. So you cannot use a custom tool to develop mobile application. It should be mainly tailor-made for that institution.
Fawaz Basim from Zain, Saudi Arabia. Gentleman from Pozitron, yes. You were talking that you're working with enterprise mobility. What are the specific services that your company can propose to the enterprise and not as a consumer service?
All of our products now available on the market, it's used by mainly for end users, but none of them is owned by us. We develop integration solutions with large enterprises, and we actually display and carry their information in a secure way to their potential clients. Like we have mobile banking, the end users, we have 400,000 users in each bank. They are using mobile banking application. They are doing more than 10 million transactions per month in just a single bank, but it's mainly designed for that. We have ticketing solutions for Turkish Airlines. It's used by end users, but actually we are carrying the core system, core ticketing reservation system to iPhone, BlackBerry, and other things. And on the other side, let's say 20% of the products, it's used by the employees of this enterprise. Like pharmaceutical companies, they do daily visits to doctors. So they use iPad for e-detailing. They show the presentations, they put information about the segmentation of the doctors, they ask questions to iPad, it's transferred to the center. So what we do is, we change the classical way of doing business using electronic methods and devices.
Thank you. Some more questions from the audience? A follow-up, yes, please. We'll start charging you for your questions now.
I mean, today, right now, we look at MFS services, and mobile MFS services is the way to extend your current existing web services to the mobile and provide the customer an alternative channel, a very rich alternative channel. But have we looked at providing initiative and specific services only available during the mobility? on mobility? Roy, maybe you can answer.
Mobile payment is something that's specific when you're mobile, right? That's the biggest use. I'm looking at a report by Juniper Research that they did, and they say that 80% of mobile users will be paying their bills by 2016. 80% of the mobile users will be paying bills using their mobile phone. So this is a big driver. There's also a report from the World Bank discussing the remittance. You know that in the Middle East region, there's a lot of remittances. What we call mobile remittance is where migrant workers transfer their salaries or their earnings or part of it back to their home countries. This is also a big driver for mobility, and these are things that you can use on your mobile phone wherever you happen to be, outside of the branch of the 9 to 5 typical bank branch.
Could you consider a mobile service as a target for unbanked people?
Unbanked people, there are big initiatives in Kenya, if you're familiar with the M-Pesa mobile payment. That's one of the biggest success stories with unbanked people. We've positioned ourselves more towards the smartphone users versus the particularly unbanked people in our case. Apparently even unbanked people can use, they're better at using smartphones with an icon. If you look at a 2-year-old that can use an iPad, that's because they're mainly looking at icons and they're touching icons. Same thing with the smartphone. So even unbanked people or people that don't have a lot of education, it's easier for them to use a smartphone rather than using SMS and commands and cryptic commands.
The platforms of the mobile applications that you have, is it internet-based, and how does infrastructure in the country, in Lebanon, affect the performance of such applications?
Our platform is cloud-based. So basically, if you have your own private cloud, we give you virtual machines that you would run in your own data center. As far as usability, our applications are native applications. They're not web-based applications. So they're native applications. So they only exchange encrypted text with your data center. And you have now 3.5, or is it 3.75G or 3.9G mobile networks in Lebanon. We've tested our application on the Lebanese market. It's actually very quick. You can't even tell that you're using a 3G connection. I can show you this afterwards if you want to see a demo, a quick demo.
I believe in the interest of time, we'll wrap it up. It was definitely an interesting panel. The banking stream was very interesting. It certainly had the highest percent of bald men in dark suits, as represented by Roy and myself. And do we have a final presentation following this panel? So stay tuned for the very last and not certainly the least best presentation of the day. And thank you very much, Roy and Fatih, and thank you, Omar, for a very well organized event.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.